What's up, everybody? Mike here. In this video, I want to go over some major details about Granblue Fantasy Relink, the upcoming RPG that is not to be confused with the recent fighting game, Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. That's the fighting game, guys. But this is the upcoming RPG that seems like it's going to be just fantastic. That's a mix of like Final Fantasy and Monster Hunter with certain game mechanics and gameplay and other features, basically. Now, you don't necessarily have to play any previous Granblue games. I believe this game or franchise really started as a mobile game. You don't need to play that. This is original story with these characters. Don't worry about that. There is an anime if you want to check that out. I believe it's on Funimation as well as Crunchyroll. If you want to go into that and look into that story as well too. I actually been watching that myself, just to kind of get myself ready for this game in a sense, with have a better understanding with these characters and lore. And before I go into any more details about this, it helps a lot, guys. If you do enjoy this video, smash that like, get more people watching, things like that. If you do enjoy this, also subscribe to the channel to help grow the channel too and build a community up. So before I go into the story as well too and other gameplay details, there is a demo right now. If you want to check it out on PS4, PS5, you can check it out right now and get your own opinion of it. But this does release really soon here, February 1st. And if you do pre-order it, at least on PlayStation 4 or 5, you can play it up to 3 days early. That is the standard edition, by the way. I know a lot of games do this whole like early access thing, if you spend more money like that, but this is actually not too bad. You're paying the full standard price and you can play it a few days early if you want to pre-order and play it that way. So 72 hours early access if you pre-order the standard edition on PS4 or PS5. That is not available on PC. This game is coming out on PC on Steam, but the release date for the PC version is January 31st. So basically a day before the standard comes out for the PS4, PS5 if you don't pre-order it. And unfortunately, you cannot pre-order it on Steam. I don't know why. That's super weird to me, why they're doing that, but yet you can pre-order on PlayStation. I don't know. That's dumb. Anyway, so when it comes to the gameplay here, Granblue Fantasy Relink is an action RPG that includes 4-person player co-op. The game's main story will be single-player experience, and a multiplayer co-op mode will be available to players after the campaign has been completed. The quests are unlocked in the endgame, can either be tackled in co-op or alone with AI companions. Now, that's something I was like kind of confused about too when I played demo, as far as like I didn't know when essentially the quest mode, which is like the Monster Hunter-like type mode, unlocks. So essentially, once you play through the main story first, before you even do the co-op mode, which is fine by me, because the main story itself has been, made clear that it's roughly like 20 hours, maybe 25, depending on how much you do with that. But there's a bunch of side content they're putting in there too that's going to add more time to that. Also with, the combat in Granblue Fantasy Relink, it is real-time, fast-paced system. It utilizes standard-based attacks as well as magic and signature character abilities. And then even in the demo, there's like a great variety of enemies too that you tackle with. And I even mentioned this in my demo video where I did a breakdown of what my experience with that impressions of the demo, where essentially enemies feel good. They feel a bit spongy, but not too bad. I feel once you learn the mechanics of the game, you learn how to combo effectively. And obviously, this game is going to be able to allow you to upgrade your characters. I believe the max level is 100. And then there's going to be other things that's going to help you be stronger in the game too. And like I said, once you get the gameplay down, the bosses, the enemies will not feel as spongy. It'll feel much balanced out. When it comes to the story and world of the game, there exists a world where islands of all shapes and sizes float in a sea of clouds. It is a world forsaken by the gods. Once upon a time, people known as the Astrals attempted to seize control of this world with their overwhelming might. But the citizens of the skies repelled the invaders, thus ushering in a new era of peace. Living on a little-known island in a remote part of the skies, you find a letter left behind by your father telling you to set off for a legendary island. However, before you leave, you meet a mysterious girl named Lyria, inevitably setting the wheels of fate in motion. And I've mentioned this in a video before too, but I'll go over again. There's different races in here as well too. You got human, Harvin, Draft, Arun. Yeah, primal beasts, living weapons made by Astrals as well too. So these are created by Astrals. These great beasts were gifted with godlike powers in the aftermath of the war, which ended roughly 500 years ago. The remaining beasts fell into a slumber throughout the skies, where their presence deeply influenced the development of local customs. Primal beasts only obey the astrals, thus the rampage of an awakened primal is akin to a grand-scale calamity. However, some people possess a devout belief that these divine beasts are part of nature and thus shouldn't be pacified. In this game, when it comes to your characters, skills, abilities, and builds, things like that, they're broken down into sort of three kind of like archetypes in a way. You'll have your DPS, like how most standard RPGs do. You have your DPS characters, then you have your support characters, then you have like a hybrid of those two. We have a DPS support hybrid, and there's a fair amount of that in this game. And skills, are special actions that have a wide range of sign for use in battle. So basically, you just got to find the right combination of skills that complements your party members for maximum battle potential. Essentially, party optimization. This is going to, develop and change as you progress through the game because, like I said, characters are going to be able to level up to max of 100. And then I believe the weapons can level up to 150. There's also sigils you'll collect as well, too, in the game and other things, that's going to help benefit you overall to perform better in combat. You'll essentially be able to make custom parties, swap out who you want in there. Each character has access to their own talent tree they can learn new abilities from as well. You have these link attacks. Enemies, have stun gauges that fill up as they take hits. Once their stun gauge is full, this creates a chance for a link attack. A simultaneous full party attack performing certain actions in battle increases the party's link level. When link level reaches 100%, executing a successful link attack triggers link time, which temporarily slows down all enemy actions while granting you beneficial status effects. Victory, basically allowing you just to, make the sort of sponginess of enemies and bosses less of an issue. And probably the coolest thing and you can do in combat is these chain bursts. Essentially, these like supers or these ultimates, if you will, that each character has, where if you time them correctly and if you've built up each, character's meter to pull them off, you essentially can do them back to back with your 4-person party. I did this in a demo at least twice, and it was freaking fantastic. These are skybound arts. Essentially, these are skybound arts that you use in, succession or on top of each of your comrades to dish out damage. And utilizing these chain bursts is going to be vital for staying alive too. So essentially, you pop off one ultimate, and then you're able to pop off, another one. And if you do a full party of them, it essentially goes into full burst and is insane damage. And then when it comes to the quest mode, which is the online co-op mode that I mentioned earlier, that's basically going to be unlocked after you beat the main story, there are over 100 quests waiting to be tackled in this mode. Each quest has its own objectives and side goals that reward experience and treasure upon completion. These quests can also be played online with other players. So you can play it online, you can play it solo with AI, up to you. This is going to be like the Monster Hunter-like type of mode, what I'm talking about. And then when it comes to Final Fantasy aspects, it's mostly the bosses. I mentioned this in my, demo gameplay breakdown video where essentially like it feels Final Fantasy-ish in terms of like how the boss fights set up, and Final Fantasy 14 specifically. So this is going to be good. So you'll experience this in the quest mode, story mode bosses, and how their attack patterns are and how their game mechanics work and things like that. And it's going to be very exciting for that. So this to me is shaping up to be, one of the greatest, possibly one of the greatest RPGs of all time, or at least of 2024. I'm very excited for it. I don't know about you guys. Is this something you're going to be getting day one? Is it a wait, for a sale for you, or are you not interested whatsoever? Please let me know in the comments below what you're thinking, as well as make sure you check out some of the videos I got here on the channel as well, along with my recent video I did about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and some other great content here. So thank you again for watching. My name is Mike. I'll see you next time.